Jared Moskowitz delivers a fiery critique of the current leadership at the Department of Homeland Security, pointing to repeated failures in crisis response, lack of de-escalation, and unprecedented disrespect for congressional oversight. From domestic terrorism incidents to FEMA mismanagement, Moskowitz frames the situation as a severe breach of public trust and constitutional responsibility.
I just want to go back to a previous statement by one of our colleagues, Governor Biggs. He said that Democrats have not tried to de-escalate the situation. You know, after the brutal murder of Charlie Kirk, which was domestic terrorism, okay, we tried to de-escalate. After the assassination attempt against the president, which was domestic terrorism, I was appointed to the task force to investigate that assassination attempt. We tried to de-escalate. After the anti-Semitic attack in Colorado, in which you put forward a resolution that included language about ICE's favorable role in that. 75 Democrats voted for that resolution, even though there was no reason to put that in there, but you did it to try to put us on the board. So this idea that that Democrats have said nothing, that we haven't tried to de-escalate, it's just not true. It's just not true. Now, it's not like you guys have any credibility on de-escalation. I mean, literally, we're not the ones who told tens of thousands of people to show up to the Capitol and run in here like a mob, and now you all tell people it never happened. You know, like, oh, that's not what the deal was. It's not like every day there isn't some sort of tweet that just escalates and escalates and escalates. And so, listen, I hope one day we could have a hearing on de-escalation. I would love to participate in a hearing on how we together de-escalate. But looking at one party and saying, you don't de-escalate, I mean, that's literally this dialogue on how we do bring down the temperature together. You know, I want to, we heard about this domestic terrorism thing, right? Domestic terrorism. That was the first thing we heard. I have a question. This is the person who within minutes of the shooting, went on TV and called it domestic terrorism. What, is she hiding her face like her ICE agents now? She can't show her face either? By the way, is this what the $800 billion went to? Every day we see her after there's some new tragedy in Homeland, she's wearing a different outfit with a different hat. I mean, come on, guys, she looks ridiculous. She's not just an embarrassment to the country. She's an embarrassment to you and the president. Okay, she deserves to be removed from her job by the president, and if not impeached, not just for her complete failures in Homeland, but her destruction of FEMA. She's not even running the department. You guys know this. You guys know she's not running Homeland. Your governors and you all, when you need your FEMA money, you don't call Noam, you call Corey. You know she's not running the place. She's a complete and utter embarrassment. By the way, every Homeland Secretary has come in front of this committee once a Congress. I'd like to know the date she's coming. When is she coming?
When is she coming?
When is she coming? By the way, do you know Pam Bondi has not come in front of this committee? Do you know she's the only secretary to not appear in front of a committee yet? When is she coming? What's the date on the calendar that she's coming? You know what? Let's make it easy. I want to make a motion to subpoena Pam Bondi.
Second.
To this committee.
Third, fourth, fifth.
How much are we going to...
The gentleman is not recognized for that motion. However, the chair will advise as to the Attorney General coming for, as they do routinely.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. But where is the Attorney General, the only secretary to not appear, okay, in front of a committee? The only one. We're into year 2 of this Congress. And we've not had the Attorney General in front of this committee. How much are we going to weaken Article 1 of the Constitution while you guys remain in power? I watch you twist yourself into pretzels trying to defend this, running away from previous statements, disagreeing with yourself, trying to defend the crap that's happening. And so I'll make a motion again to subpoena Pam Bondi in front of this committee.
Second.
Yes, third, fourth.
Jared Moskowitz's remarks go far beyond a critique of one federal official. They expose a systemic failure at the very heart of Homeland Security and its oversight mechanisms. His words illustrate a chilling reality. When leadership prioritizes optics, political messaging, and self-preservation over public safety and constitutional obligations, ordinary citizens bear the consequences, often in the most extreme and irreversible ways. From the immediate failures in responding to domestic terrorism incidents to the mismanagement of FEMA and the department itself, Moskowitz paints a picture of a department that has lost touch with both its mission and the people it is supposed to protect. He emphasizes that this is not merely an administrative shortcoming. It is an institutional collapse that erodes trust in federal institutions and undermines the principles upon which the country was founded. The broader narrative Moskowitz constructs is one of accountability denied and oversight circumvented. For him, the failure of Secretary Pam Bondi to appear before Congress is not a trivial procedural omission. It is a direct assault on the legislative branch's constitutional authority under Article 1. Congressional oversight exists precisely to prevent the unchecked exercise of power, yet Moskowitz details how federal officials have systematically evaded scrutiny, denying Congress its role in protecting citizens from abuses of power. When political leaders ignore or deflect responsibility, as he argues has happened repeatedly, it signals to federal agents and the public alike that violations of procedure, law, and rights will go unpunished. This creates a dangerous precedent where the rule of law becomes negotiable, and the safeguards of democracy erode. Moskowitz also situates these failures within a pattern of broader consequences for public safety and civil society. By contrasting democratic efforts to de-escalate violent situations with the failures of others to do so, he underscores the human cost of leadership incompetence. Lives endangered, communities terrorized, and trust shattered. His insistence on addressing these issues through hearings, subpoenas, and direct confrontation is more than political theater. It is a call to restore the balance between authority and accountability. The implications are stark. When leadership fails to manage crises responsibly, not only are specific tragedies like those he cites inevitable, but the very mechanisms designed to prevent abuse, FEMA, ICE, CBP, and congressional oversight, are rendered ineffective. Furthermore, Moskowitz links these administrative failures to a broader erosion of democratic norms. Leadership that avoids accountability while demanding unquestioned compliance from citizens fosters a culture of impunity. Citizens witnessing the arbitrary exercise of federal authority, whether through mishandled domestic terrorism responses, aggressive immigration enforcement, or disaster relief mismanagement, cannot trust that their rights or safety are protected. The denial of oversight, the failure to engage with Congress, and the lack of transparency in decision-making together form a systemic threat to democratic governance. Moskowitz's call to subpoena Bondi and demand accountability is therefore not only about punishing one individual, but about asserting the constitutional principle that no public official is above the law and that Congress must actively safeguard the rights of Americans against executive overreach. Finally, the speech resonates as a warning and a guide for future governance. It reminds the public, lawmakers, and federal agencies alike that the health of a democracy is measured not by rhetoric, image management, or partisan talking points, but by consistent accountability, competent leadership, and a functioning system of checks and balances. When officials fail in these duties, the consequences ripple outward, from individual tragedies to institutional decay. Moskowitz's statement thus serves as both a searing indictment and a blueprint. The country must confront failure openly, exercise oversight rigorously, and demand responsibility from those in power. Only then can trust in federal institutions be restored, citizens be protected, and the principles of the Constitution be upheld. In this light, his remarks are not just a critique. They are a clarion call to defend democracy itself against neglect, incompetence, and the erosion of accountability.